Can friends interfere with you and your partner? I want y'all. I want y'all to think about that. Like, I think it depends. I'm gonna start with that. I think it
Okay.
depends on the maturity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the honesty, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it depends on the respect. Because with those three categories, it's very important. You got to be mature to be able to know when to even cut a friend off if you have to, if it calls for that. Because some friends you have to cut off because they was disrespectful
Mm-hmm.
or they, are destroying your relationship. I'm just giving you different scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously me and you are friends and that won't ever happen. But when you dealing with different people that have experience with what I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere down the line the disrespect creeped in. Somewhere down the line the maturity left or was never there and they thought it was there. Somewhere down the line where you wasn't honest with your friend, and I'm gonna tie you right in a minute. When it come down to your private, supposed to be private
Exactly.
relationship,
And that's exactly what I'm
you
going
letting
to.
friends in at times when you shouldn't be letting them in.
Yeah.
So how you feel
And,
about that?
and like you say, man, I was going with it. Some things a friend shouldn't be privileged to know, because at the end of the day, it's you and that person's relationship. Some things y'all just need to buckle down, work it out together. And sometimes when you tell that friend some things that's going on in your relationship, now that friend has some kind of feeling towards you that you probably done got over, and now they feel like they could actually come in your relationship and have some kind of placing in your relationship because you done made them feel comfortable with the things you done told them. So, but me personally, I'm not that type of friend. Don't come to me if you don't want to hear the truth, because I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. And I had a friend that did me the same way, and I hope all my friends continue to do me the same way. If I ever, say, man, let me come and quote unquote vent to my friends, and my friends will tell me quick, hey, you need to go home and fix that. And I'm telling you the honest truth, what done happened to me before. So it's like, what can I do? Why you telling me your problems? You need to go home and fix that. And I respect those friends that tell me that more than anything. Then, man, let's go out and ball, or man, damn, or F that relationship. Let's go, man. You can find another. No, tell me, sit me down and actually say, is things as worse as I'm making it, or do I want to hear you pacify me? But at the end of the day, friends can make it worse, but they shouldn't have the right to make it work if you weren't running and telling them your business in the first place.
Right, man. You gotta know the difference. You gotta know, I remember you said in one of the episodes, know your friends. You gotta know, especially if you have multiple friends, know your friends and know what they're capable of and know what each one is capable of. And I think a lot of times too, people, they get to the point where they depend so much on what outsiders say, whether it's friends or family members say about your relationship, more than how you and the person that you're laying next to think or feel. Because at the end of the day, you still going back to the person that you laying your head next to, whether it's bad or over or just going through just your moments or whatever the case may be. You still going back to them just to not talk to them, but talk to the person that you're not going to even be spending time with. So of course you getting along with these friends, of course, and that kind of makes sense to what we were just talking about in our last point. Of course, it's easier to be comfortable around this person who you venting to because you don't have to deal with them on the daily, living with them.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you right back in this. We both know that when you live with a person, it's way different than it is when you don't live with them.
Yeah.
There's people who people work with on their job and they vent to them. And it seemed like so much of, I can talk to this person about anything. You ain't sleeping with this person.
Again, that's exactly what I was
I'm gonna tie you
say.
right in on that because I can go in for an hour on that one.
I was just finna say that. It's cool and dandy with talking to your friend about somebody else. It's cool and dandy talking to your friends about your relationship when it ain't about them. But try talking to your friend about something they did and see how that turns out.
See how that go.
See how that turns out. It's easier when you're not talking to that person about something wrong they did, but soon as you do, they're going to have some kind of rebuttal or anything of that nature. Just the same as you talking to your spouse. maybe they might have a rebuttal at the first beginning, but then they start to hear you out and start to make sense. And then y'all come into some kind of common ground and fixing or trying to work on a problem and solving a problem. But you got to come to that person first. While you go to your friends, yeah, they're going to give you comfort and all that. But as soon as you start talking to your friend about them, it's not going to be the same and it ain't going to sit right. You're going to probably have an argument. So why not talk to your spouse the same way? You know?
The same way, man. And before we move to our next point, I just want to say, man, it seemed like it only makes sense to do that with somebody that is supposed to be your partner, somebody that you just with. I would hope that we just saying, you know, and I get it. In life, people do so many scenarios we do. You see so many different situations where people just there.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't going to even get into that, but it's like, why make it so harder or so different because this person, you're not going through what you're going through with your partner with them. You know, the same way, like you say, you can talk to that person. That's what's hurting a lot of the relationships is that conversations is not being had because they're talking to everybody else but who the person they need to be talking with.
And it's easy, and I'm going to say this before we go to another subject. It's easy, like I say, talking to somebody about somebody else. But say I'm guilty of it. That's why we can talk about this. So I done said some things, guilty. And I'll tell you what my brother here done told me before. Have you told that person how you feel? Have you told that person? So what good am I, you coming to me, telling me, have you talked to that person about whatever it is that you have some kind of discretion with? So
yeah,